Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We link up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
Girls, it's going down. It's going down tonight. It's going down. It's going down on this thankful Thursday. You are listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation, and I am your host for today, Crisette Ellis, Lady Crisette Ellis from the D. And of course, I'm so excited to be with you on today, as we all are each and every day, Monday through Friday, from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I know the summer, has been a little different. Sometimes we've been all together, and lately it's been two first ladies holding it down. But guess what? Sabrina is back, and she has a new title.
You need to stop. You need to stop that.
She's the first lady of wrestling at Morgan State University. So we're excited to have. That's right. Give her a big round of applause, Michael. Thank you. But we're so excited to be here on today. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about home remedies. What did you grow up on? I know in my household, trust me, I know for sure there were times I really should have gone to the doctor, but my mama said, we're going to do this, and I am still alive, so it must have worked. And, nowadays people run to the doctor for everything. So we're going to talk about some home remedies. What are some of the things your mama told you, your grandmother told you that you might be still using today? So we want to hear from you. We want to hear, what is your best home remedy? You can give us a call at 313-778-7600. We absolutely want to hear from you. I want to hear what the girlfriends, what remedies they have for this and for that. And I'm going to tell you something. There are some of them old school remedies that, listen, you get a call, when they talk about get you a hot toddy, some of them hot toddies will knock out the cold and some other stuff. Some of those home remedies are
even the church folk was using them. Even the church folk was having them hot toddies. Okay.
Oh, and listen, some of the church folks were hoping to. Hey, Caterina, some of the church folks were hoping to catch a cold, so they could have a hot toddy. Okay, but that's another talk show. But again, it is a thankful Thursday. We have a lot to be thankful for. But before we get into, some of the happenings that is going on around the world, even though we're here and we have smiles on our face and we're always excited to come, it is kind of a sad day. Okay, we're happy, but we're also sad because our boy, Michael Dowdell, this is his last day as our board operator. Yes, Michael has been with us from the very beginning. When I tell you we met Michael on the air, and then during the pandemic, one time we were able to go into the studio and finally get a chance to meet him. And he greeted us with so much warmth, such a big smile. And when I say he is our boy, he loves We Got Issues, and he loves the Force of Friendship. So Michael, we have to take a few minutes on today to appreciate you, to love on you, to let you know that we just appreciate all that you have done. We were newbies. We were dropping stuff. We wasn't getting connected. We were a hot mess. We had serious issues when we started. We got issues. But you know what? You did your best to make it seem seamless, and we so appreciate you. And so, you know what, Michael, we normally tell you to give everybody else a big hand, but we want you to give yourself a big applause so that everybody that's listening will know that we celebrate and appreciate you. And so, Michael, I hope you're there and you just didn't miss my big shout out to you. I didn't hear. So, okay, well then you're gonna have to go back and listen to the replay. So I'm gonna throw it to my girl Caterina Harris Earl so she can give her shout out, and then we'll throw it to Sabrina, and then we'll talk about a little bit that's going on around the world. Caterina.
Oh my gosh, Michael, again, you better be there, okay? I remember early on we were like, oh man, Michael ain't there. Where's Michael?
And you know what? He just texted me, I'll be right back. Okay. I'll be right back. So you know what? So we're gonna hold. Yeah, we're gonna talk about some news and then we'll come back because we absolutely want Michael to hear our voices celebrating him on today, because when people are kind to you, when people are just so good to you, you absolutely want them to know and you want to appreciate them. So what we'll do, I'm sure he'll be right back, probably a bathroom break. I'm calling you out, Michael. We're going to go ahead and talk about some things that's going on around the world. I was so thankful, and Caterina, you brought this up and talked about it, I believe, on yesterday, about the trains going on strike. So just kind of bring us up to date. I was so glad to hear that Biden, worked it out. So talk to us a little bit about that, Caterina.
Yeah, Jesus will work it out. Well, Biden wanted to work it out because honestly, it's so unfortunate that when things like that take place, it's blamed on a political party. We know that it's bigger than that. You got to, it's about treating employees fairly and people being overworked and all of the extra hours they had to put in during the pandemic. So we're grateful for those that work in the railroad industry. I mean, honestly, I think in my case, and I know in my girlfriend's cases, because we forever on a plane, that, and I know Sabrina's been on Amtrak, but they're like unsung heroes because you don't see when you go to Walmart or you go to the store or Amazon brings the stuff to your doorstep every single day. You don't think about the railroad workers that had to move those packages. So we're really grateful for you. And certainly if there's anybody out there who works for the railroad industry, I want you to come on the show when I'm hosting. But they came to a tentative agreement. And, they had to, any agreement you have to compromise, but we just hope that that it is in favor of the worker. And one of the things I like that they said, you guys may have heard it, is that the president, he made calls to the parties on both sides, but he didn't interject. Like he didn't try to take over and say, look, y'all better bully pulpit. Y'all better figure this out. Okay. Like they said, he didn't come like that. So that's a big deal. And before I pass it over to Sabrina, I wanted to say one other thing in the news, Chris, is this immigration issue. I mean, we try really hard.
Yes.
When I tell you, pure religion is to the widows and the orphans. Pure religion is to the stranger. I do not know how you can call yourself an evangelical Christian and use women and children from Venezuela, I believe, literally as a political pawn, where my understanding, someone correct me, DeSantis sent sent for a plane. Was it a plane in Texas to drop immigrants off, a plane full of immigrants off in Martha's Vineyard, one of the most expensive places in the country. And they played a clip that Tucker Carlson had talked about where Obama's house was, and how what would it be like if we dropped some immigrants off there? And that's exactly what DeSantis did. Unannounced, didn't call anybody in Massachusetts, didn't tell the governor.
That's just messy.
Dropped them off. I mean,
it's not
just messy. That's evil, Chris. That's evil. It's beyond messy. EVIL. How can you do that? But he's trying to position himself, I mean, it's just like, you got to answer to some bigger people to drop off some women, babies, children, and just say, fend for yourself in a new country with no money.
Wow. I hadn't heard that news.
Yeah, they talked about that today.
That's pretty unbelievable.
Absolutely. And
they said it could backfire.
It is. That's one of the things they were saying today is, hopefully all of these legal immigrants that are here, from the Dominican and other places where they were under, dictatorship and they were fleeing for their life, that they will remember, what the Republicans are doing during this time where there's so much unrest and, tyrants around the world. So we'll see if that's going to resonate with the voters. November is right around the corner and election season is here. So we're going to see, how it all shakes out because of that. So you know what? We know Michael is back. Michael, give yourself a big round of applause. Come on, we'll make sure you're back. Okay. So, Michael, I gave beautiful tribute that you missed. So it was about 3-4 minutes. So I'm not going to repeat it, but I need you to go back and you need to watch my tribute to you. I just said how wonderful you are. You have been with us from the very beginning. We love you. We are absolutely going to miss you, but we will listen. You will not be a stranger. And matter of fact, you can call into the show and we might even have you as a guest on the show to talk about how messy we are, okay? Or to talk about our beginnings. But we truly appreciate you. I'm going to throw it over to Caterina. You can give your tribute, then back to Sabrina.
Michael, I mean, unbelievable. What is 910A? And we got issues, the force of friendship with, when I tell you, if you were not the best radio producer, we would have some more issues. Like we might not be on here. Thank you for your patience. The 2 minutes before, can you change this? The callers, just everything, Michael. Honestly, you have made 910 the best experience. I don't know if we would still be on the air right now if it wasn't for you working behind the scenes. So you've made it so smooth and easy. Sabrina.
Yeah, Michael, we just want to thank you so much for being patient, being kind. I mean, you have taught us the business of radio, and it's really been fun working with you. You always put us at ease. You always had a smile on your face,
Right.
Always had the music popping, rocking, whatever we needed. You never made us feel bad because we are some sisters with some issues, okay? You understand us. You root for us. You're in our corner. So, Michael, you might be leaving the station, but you ain't leaving us, brother. We got you. So, best of everything to you and yours. We wish you nothing but the best, Michael.
Absolutely. Go ahead, Michael.
No, I just want to jump on and just say thank you. It has been my pleasure to work with you each and every day. And I was telling Sabrina right before we went on air, I'm proud to say that I had just a little hand in helping to make you guys radio superstars here on 910 AM. Thank you. Big hand. You had a big hand. I don't know who's going to place you, but they better get you going to the place. Because I don't know who can last.
Leave a manual. You need to leave a manual. I don't know about all the other shows, but for 910, you need to school.
Just go ahead and say they're crazy, they're lazy, they're gossipy.
Okay, but let me just say this, Michael. We're going to keep you on speed dial. So that number that you gave us, that better be your real cell phone number, okay? So we want to make sure we have your real cell phone number because we may have to put you on speed dial. And let me say this, Michael. Gloria is getting ready to go to Africa. She left a message today. It was like 4:00 in the morning, and you could tell she was so tired. But she did say, oh my God, I don't want to miss Michael's last show. So just know that wherever she is in the world, I don't know if she's still in Bali or getting ready to board a plane, she is absolutely thinking of you and wanted us to make sure that we told you how much she appreciates you for all that you have done for us. Almost close to 2 years. So we, again, collectively adore you. And again, we're gonna always be your sisters, and we're gonna keep you on speed dial. So you're not getting rid of us. Even though you're leaving 910, you ain't leaving. We got issues. I'm sorry. We got issue for life. Okay, you are a lifer. So again, Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you so much. Well, you guys, we are getting ready. Awesome, awesome. Well, we're going to take our first break. And when we come back, we are talking homemade remedies. What did your mama say? Put on this. When you got a headache, she didn't give you no Tylenol. They couldn't afford Tylenol. And for many years, Tylenol wasn't even available. What did your mama tell you about your headache? We want to hear from you. What are some of your best homemade remedies? Give us a call, 313-778-7600. You're listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship, 9:10 a.m. The Superstation. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back. We are back. Yes, and you're listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship, 9:10 a.m. The Superstation. Today, we are talking about homemade remedies, and we're also going to include some old wives' tales. You know, what did you hear? What did your mama say? What did you try that actually worked? What did you try? And you say, you know what? Now that was just an all-out lie. It don't work at all. So we want to hear from you. Call us with your best remedy. We want to know, it can save us some money. Many of those remedies were things that you had actually right there at home, and it didn't cost you a little of nothing. And, there are a lot of things that people are doing now that are holistic things that, different things. We've had Paul Ritter on, and he's talked about, different fruits and vegetables. And we'll talk a little bit about some of those that are good for certain symptoms that you're having. And so let me just say this, so nobody ain't suing. We got issues in the force of friendship. Listen, if you got issues, some problems, and your doctor prescribed you some medicine, keep taking your medicine, okay? Even though you may hear something that's going to help you with your arthritis, with high blood pressure. You know what? It sounds good, but again, take the advice of your doctors, okay? Had to say that. So I'll get started. My mother, let me just say this. It was seven of us. So I have 6 siblings and I make 7. And so, my mother was very diligent in taking us, to the doctor when we were supposed to go to the doctor for our, yearly checkups. She was very vigilant in taking us to the dentist. Oh my goodness. I can so remember going to the dentist all the time. But I also know that there were times where I can look back in my childhood and know I should have went to the doctor. This really was called for a trip to the doctor. So I'll give you one instance. When I was growing up, I was really a tom girl. I have an older brother who's 2 years older than me, and we were really close. And I could just so remember, jumping off the banisters. I remember, I don't know if you guys have ever done this, we would get these mason jars and we would poke holes in the jars, and then we would get this certain kind of flour, and then we would go around and we would capture bumblebees in the jar, and then we would hold it up to our ear to hear them buzzing and all of that. I remember doing that. And I remember, can't even believe, as afraid as I am of bugs, I promise you, I do not like anything that crawls. I just don't. We used to, at our house, we had these big old rocks around our house. And so my brother and I, we would turn them over and we would pull out the big old juicy worms. We were doing all of this stuff. And I'm like, I can't believe I used to do that. Well, this one particular time, and I don't know, maybe I was about 7 or 8, my brother lifted the big stone and it fell on my finger. Let's be clear, my finger was broken. Did I go to the doctor? Did somebody call 911? Did my father throw me in a car and rush me to EMS? No. You know what they did? In my house, we ate a lot of popsicles. They got a popsicle stick, got some tape, and taped it up. And when I tell you, that was how my broken finger got set back in place. And I'll tell you, to this day, I cannot tell you which of my fingers were broken.
Wow.
So, and you know what? It's all a blur. Maybe it was so much pain that I just totally erased all the additional details out of my head. But we did not go to the doctor for a lot of things. If they could fix it at home, my mother was born in Nashville, Tennessee, and they were old school. They had remedies, and if you got sick, they were going to try this. Unless it looked like your eyes were going in the back of your head, you were not going to the doctor. At least that's how they did in my house. How about you, Sabrina? Did you guys have any remedies? Did you go to the doctor a lot? How about you?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, Chris, as you were talking. We did a lot of salves and Mercure cone. Y'all remember Mercure cone? That red stuff was put on everything and everybody. But the good thing is, our community, we had a couple of Black doctors in our neighborhood, which was a beautiful thing. And so Dr. Bate, he was a big, tall man. And I used to be scared of Dr. Bate because I just knew I was going to get a shot. Every time I went to Dr. Bate's, I was going to get a shot. And so I can see him walking toward me now. And so we did go to the doctor a lot because he was right around the corner. He was a family friend. And so my mama would put our butt in that car in a minute. You going to the doctor? You going to the doctor? So we went to the doctor quite a bit. We did. Yes.
Well,
But, you think about Vicks. I mean, how about Vicks? My grandma now, Vicks was for everything.
come on.
And did you
Yep.
guys
Yes.
eat Vicks? I mean, if you had a cold, she didn't just
Yep.
rub it on you, baby. You had to sniff it up your nostrils and then eat some. Who eats Vicks but us? Okay.
Yep. We was eating Vicks.
That is funny because that absolutely was on every Black household. Okay, knows about Vicks. I really believe that Black people have kept Vicks in business. I promise you, I do. And you know what? We actually should have bought. I don't know if it's sold on the market on NASDAQ, but I promise you, we should have some because before even the weather is changing. You better know I'm going to have some Vicks up in this house. I mean, we not only put it up our nostrils, we put it on our chest, but then they got wise. We put it on the bottom of our feet and put on some socks. Okay. So all you know is by the time the morning came, you could breathe very well. Okay. So yes, I think every Black household knows about Vicks Vapor Rub. Okay. Katrina,
Vicks
talk to
and
us about
Tussin.
what y'all did in your house. What you
I
say?
was gonna say Vicks and Tussin. Who was the comedian who did a whole skit about Black folks using Tussin, Robitussin? Can you pass the Tussin? I want to say my mother is here, and she's the baby of 7, and so I grew up in the suburbs and we went to the doctor. Not a whole lot of home remedies, but I love when I went to my grandmother's house and she would pull them out. I wish I actually knew more of them, but when I tell you my mother used peroxide for everything, okay? Peroxide. You need to drink some, you need to put it in your ear, you need to do this. It's going to clean and purify. Now, and she is not drink it. She didn't say drink it, but you gargle with it, okay? I mean, peroxide. Now, I will tell you, one of my good girlfriends from Georgia, I had a problem, as a lot of women do, with anemia from around your cycle time and challenges with anemia. And in the country, she would go out there and they would get real dirt. I mean, just pure dirt. And she took a scoop of dirt every once or twice a month. And that was,
and she ate it?
Dirt. They would eat the dirt, pure soil. And her anemia would go away. She's like, when I came and started living in this lifestyle here in California, I would have a problem. She'd be anemic. When she would go home, her mom would be like, here. And it'd go away. The iron. Now, you wouldn't want to do that in this toxic soil we got up in here.
Right.
But they were way out in the country, totally pure. She's like, this is pure iron. Fix it. Fix it, Jesus. So that's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Dirt.
You know what? We have a caller. We're going to take this caller before we go to our break. Grace, are you there?
Ladies, I'm just smiling about these old things. My Nana, when the babies come into the family and they're teething, her remedy was that she would stick her finger in my grandpa's old crow bottle and put it around the baby's mouth, on the gums. It did work. The baby stopped crying, but the baby was high, drunk, or whatever the case is. She'd give the baby liquor. And that was and we had I was a doctor, and I had another aunt that was a nurse. And little things would happen around the house, and my aunt, she would come over. She says, "Mama, why you do that? Why you just didn't take him into the doctor or take him to the hospital?" And she says, "It works for you, and it worked for them." So those little things there. And then my grandpa, he worked many, many hours, and he had dead skin on the back of his, his foot or whatever. She used to do vinegar and Listerine and soak his feet, and she would get the towel. That dead skin would come right off. So I was amazed by that. I mean, she would just wipe it. It would just fall off. So those things, and castor oil, was another thing. If they got a stomach ache and they ate too much, a spoonful of castor oil would actually relieve everything, literally. That was our thing. This is a funny topic, ladies, because everybody can chime in on this. Really. Absolutely. It's funny. If we can't get related like this, we ain't related. Huh? Exactly. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Well, great. I hear the music before I start next break. Thank you so much for calling me. And I got to remember that.
Vinegar and what was the other? And Listerine. Okay, vinegar and Listerine. So if I see somebody with a lot of crust on their feet, I'm going to recommend vinegar and Listerine. You guys, you're listening to We Got Issues with the Force of Friendship, 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. We're talking about home remedies. You know you got one. Call us and tell us what yours is. 313-778-7600. We'll be right back after this break. We are back with the Force of Friendship. Oh, yes, yes, yes. We got issues. And today we are just having some fun on this Thankful Thursday. We're talking about old wives' tales. We're talking about remedies. And Grace called in. Thank you, Grace, for calling in, sharing some of your childhood memories of the remedies that work. And I will tell you, there are those that absolutely work. And I can remember this as a child. We couldn't afford, back in the day, we didn't go to a hairstylist every week. Our mothers washed our hair, and my hair was extremely thick. I remember my mother used to say, she said, you got what the sheep got sheared for wool. Okay, that's how thick my hair was. And so I remember it was my mother that would, trim our ends or whatever. And so when she thought we needed to have our ends trimmed, she literally would go to the almanac. And in the almanac, you only trimmed your hair during a full moon. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard that, but it is out there. And let me say, it says, if you've heard to cut your hair on a full moon, that your hair will be healthier and grow faster. And it says, according to a folklore, if hair is cut during the moon's waxing phase, and that's between the new and the full, growth is encouraged. The opposite will occur if you cut the hair during the waning phase, and that's the day after the moon is full to the day before it's new. And and my mother, and that's how I know about an almanac, because she would use the almanac for different things. But I so remember her cutting my hair according to the almanac. If it was a full moon, I was gonna get clipped. If it wasn't, you didn't get your hair clipped. So I don't know if that happened in anybody else's household, but it absolutely happened in my household. And you know what? Thinking of hair, Sabrina, yesterday we were talking about you getting braids. This is a good segue. What's up on the braids?
Y'all want to hear this story. This is a whole show.
Yes, we do.
All by itself. Bottom line is, Sydney was quick with it, made me an appointment. There's an app, Seat Style, blah, 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 New York City. I had an appointment at 9:30 this morning, paid the girl $75. I was dreaming about my hair. It's been 20 years since I had braids. She never gave us an address, gave us cross streets. We take train A to train B to train C, a scam. A doggone scam, okay? Okay, so I say, okay, God, that just means that I'm not.
What was it when you got there?
You don't want me to
No. That's not what that means. Don't even try it. You got scammed. That is not what that means. That does not mean that that you shouldn't get braids. It just means that you better be more particular next time.
That's so funny. That is funny. What was it when you got there, Sabrina? Was it like, what kind of, did the address exist?
We only got to the cross streets because she never gave us a physical address. Sometimes they say, once you book the appointment, then we'll give you the address. Well, we booked the appointment. Last night, she didn't call back. City's like, well, she didn't hit me back. It was kind of late, but I know the cross streets. Let's just go, get close. She'll pick up. Chick ain't picked up, still ain't picked up. People need to get a life. Who makes a living, pays their rent by scamming people? So my show next week, I probably still won't have no braids in, but it's going to be scams. I mean, really. Because all of the girlfriends have been scammed, okay? And
yeah,
talk about
absolutely.
Scams.
Okay, I'll hold on to the one that I got scammed for your show. I won't even mention it, but I got scammed.
Was it Instagram?
Absolutely.
Where was the ad,
Sabrina?
Where was the ad? I know you're
on
talking
Instagram.
about
The girl has a full page, all these styles, reviews, and everything. Okay.
Wow. I know you reported it. We'll talk about it.
Okay, so that's gonna be a show, you guys. So stay tuned. We're gonna want to know, have you been scammed? Because I know so many people that have been, and I was like, I definitely am not gonna get scammed.
Yep.
And I'm here
Somebody
to say my name is Crisette Ellis, and I got scammed. Okay.
Yep.
So listen, we have another.
I paid a $75 deposit, and I'm just glad it wasn't more than that, because I probably would have paid more if she would have asked for it. So anyway, these things happen. But when I tell you I left there, went got me a massage and came home and took a nap. And I said, it's time for me to get out of this state, this city, New York, New Jersey. You got me once, you're not getting me twice. I'm going to Baltimore, quick, fast, and a hurry.
They might not, I know we're going to talk about it, but they might not even be black. No, nothing about scams, might not be in the United States.
Right.
Other side of the world.
Exactly.
Somebody in a basement.
Exactly.
Wow.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So that's going to be a good topic. We have a caller. Bernetta, are you there?
Actually, talking about the home remedies. Yes, growing up, I have very long, extremely thick, wiry hair. I mean, you pinch it, it stays where you pinched it. But the slightest bit of humidity, it will go from bone straight, from being hot combed to, I would have had 2 puff balls. Okay? So what was the remedy? Your mom did home remedy to condition your hair. Eggs or mayonnaise. And let me tell you, it kept my hair just as soft. And it combed, you put it in the hair after you rinse the shampoo out, let it sit a couple minutes, comb the hair out while you're rinsing it of the excess, and it really, really works. It also stopped me from getting the frizzy. I just wish I had started it earlier because those frizzies got me in trouble in school. Kid behind me decided to play with my puff balls, grabbed them in the middle of the class, going, beep, beep, beep. And knocked himself way across the room, and Sister Mary Joseph carried me out by my collar. Oh, wow. And you know what, Bernetta? Oh, my goodness, I'm so glad you talked about the mayonnaise. I so remember, as I said, my hair was super, super thick. I so remember my hair being conditioned with mayonnaise. And as I said at the opening of the show, many of the home remedies were things that you automatically already had at your house, so you didn't have to run to the store and get it. You know, most people had mayonnaise in the house. So yeah, I totally remember that. And you know what? It's still, I'm sure if you Google it, it may still come up and say that it is a good conditioner. So sometimes you can save money by using these home remedies. But Netta, thank you so much for calling in and sharing that with us. We appreciate you being one of our listeners and callers on We Got Issues. Thank you so much. Hey guys.
One of the things that I so remember is, how many of you heard one of the old wives' tales? And this is just a few that are actually true. Our mother, grandmothers, they used to always tell us to eat your carrots. You guys remember? You know, they said if you eat your carrots, that your vision would be good. It's good for your vision. And you know what? It has been proven that, you know, eating carrots is not going to necessarily give you 20/20 vision, but it really is good for the health of your eyes because it has a lot of, they said, beta carotene that is found in carrots, and that is turned into vitamin A, and vitamin A is really good for the eyes. So, you know, some of those wives' tales that we've heard over the years actually has some scientific proof. So, you know, what am I going to say? Eat up, eat those carrots. And then one of the other things, and, you know, and sometimes you hear things and you do the same thing with your children as you become adults and have a family. How many of your parents told you, don't go outside without a coat? Make sure you bundle up, especially when it started getting cold. And when you didn't, you came home and that day or a few days later, you had the sniffles. Well, you know what? There actually is some scientific research that has found that if you go out and you get cold, that your body gets cold, you absolutely can come down with a cold. They had 2 groups. They had one group that they had their feet in cold water, and they reported cold-like symptoms 5 days after. And in the control group, those who weren't exposed to the cold water, they did not experience those symptoms. So, yeah, again, some of these things that we've heard down through the years have proven to be true. You know, we have a lot of our viewers are chiming in, and there's some lots of good remedies on our Facebook page. Caterina, you want to read some of the remedies that our Facebook viewers are writing?
Oh, there's some good ones on here. Let's see. When we go up, Dorothy talked about Vicks. It is the mentholatum in the Vicks. But oh my gosh, I got to go back up. I know we're going to a break. Janet said
Okay.
onions. Let's see. Onion in sugar. Cover until the onion juice is extracted. Onion juice for coughs or garlic, and coconut milk boiled down to an oil for the phlegm. Okay, there we go. I need to write that
Wow.
one down.
So you know what? We're gonna come back to a few of the viewers' remedies because these are pretty good. When we come back off of this break, you're listening to 910 a.m. the Superstation. We got issues with the force of friendship. We'll be right back. We're back. We're back. The force of friendship. We got issues. Oh my goodness. This hour goes by so fast. This is the last 15 minutes, and we are talking 15 minutes. Well, I mean, 15 minutes in the last few segments or minutes of this show. We're talking about homemade remedies, old wives' tales. And when I tell you, there are a lot of them in the chat. We're going to read some of them in just a minute. We're going to go to our caller. Teresa, are you there?
Hey, Teresa. Hi, Teresa. Home remedy. Hi. I'm going to talk about the home remedy. The one that has been really mentioned, and I think it's garlic. And our parents treat us with garlic for, they called it worms and parasites. And they would sew a little cotton bag with a string, put it around your neck, and put that garlic in there, and you have to wear that to school under your undershirt and all. And she did it class, and the children would start teaching something about how they were smelling garlic and all over the classroom. But we had to wear that garlic for lunch. And another what was mentioned about the eating the dirt, I know it used to be that people would eat the red clay. They left to do it for different things. Yeah. And you know what, Lisa, I'm so glad you talked about the garlic. I had my aunt, we call her Aunt Annie. She lived with us. She lived with us during the week, and then my other aunt would pick her up, and she would stay with her over the weekend. And when I tell you, she had a lot of old remedies. I mean, you know, she was that aunt that had the money, and it was in a knot in her stocking, and you needed the money. She did that knot in her stocking, and you're like, whoa, she's rich. She had money in that stocking. But when I tell you, she absolutely believed in having that cloth and having it put inside your undershirt. I can remember it. I don't know if you heard this one. My mother, she loved food.
Days we would have turkey, and there were times where she would, you know, splurge and she'd buy a goose, because goose, the meat was really, really tender and juicy. But what juicy. So what she would do is, you know, when she would cook it, a goose has a lot of oil. That's one thing you'll know about a goose. It has a lot of oil. So she would save the oil. And I'm telling you, if we got sick, if we had a cold, it wasn't just Vicks. It was also goose grease, and she would take that and she would rub it on our chest. And I was like, if a stray animal came in our house, we would have got eaten up because we smelled like goose. So I don't know, Teresa, if they did that in your household, but I totally remember having the cloth of garlic and the goose grease. I'm telling you, we stunk at school sometime. We really, really did, because of those home remedies. Thank you, Teresa, so much for sharing that home remedy with us on We Got Issues. We appreciate you. Thank you for calling. All right, Caterina.
Don't you always wonder how they came up with them? I mean, how many people died for them to figure out what didn't work? Okay, that's poison ivy. Let's not use that one. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But even today, there are still so many countries that don't have access to the healthcare we have access to. And I mean, when you look at some stats, certainly third world countries have their own issues. But it was really interesting. Even we had Queen Diambi on, and she talked about the Congo and COVID. And that's all they were using was home remedies. And their COVID numbers were so low. I mean, so low. That's all they use. There's still a whole bunch of places that don't have access to the vaccine. So, you know, something to be said. Wow. I know for us, a lot of those remedies came back, and we know what happens when we tell the story over and over and over again. It gets messed up. But that many of that came from our ancestors, our African ancestors, you know, for real.
Absolutely. I know I was just going to say, during the beginning of COVID, you know, there were so many videos. And I'm going to tell you, I was a sucker for a lot of the videos that was coming out. When I tell you, and y'all laughing, y'all followed, because we were posting so much to each other. It's amazing that we are still alive. Okay. I mean, one Jamaican brother, he had us getting some ginger, some lemon, some other stuff, boiling in the pot, taking a towel, putting it over your head, and we're breathing in, because that was going to keep COVID out of your lungs. And I'm going to tell you, I was in my kitchen with a towel over my head.
And we didn't get COVID till after.
So you know what? It's quite funny, the things that we buy into. But you know, I can say I'm vaccinated and all that, but I have not had COVID, thank God. You know, Janet Johnson said in the chat, onion and sugar covered until the onion juice is extracted. Onion juice for a cough, or garlic and coconut milk boiled down to an oil for phlegm. Oh, that's a good one. I had never heard about that. Any other ones, Caterina, that you saw that we might want to share that was in the chat? And while she's looking, one of the other things that I know you've heard before is an apple a day keeps the doctor away. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. And you know what? Apples are so rich in both vitamin C and fiber, and it contains special phytochemicals that help regulate digestion and improve blood glucose control. So it really, really is true that when you are, eating apples, apples are so good in fiber and vitamin C that, it doesn't, not saying that it cures everything, but it absolutely is one of those fruits that will absolutely help to keep you healthy. What else do we have, you guys?
In 20 years, when they do this show, the kids are going to say weed. Now they say hemp cures everything. Just take some hemp, rub it on, take it, smoke it, put it on, take a pill. Now, everything got hemp.
Let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you, I had a massage the other day. And when I went in there, the masseuse had a list. She said, you can add on any of these things. And on the list was what do you call it? CBD oil.
Okay.
And I thought about it for a minute. I was like, now, if I put on the CBD oil, how's it gonna make me feel? So I said, well, no, I passed that time. But I mean, that was the first time that I was offered the CBD oil during a massage. So who knows? I don't know. I may have been more relaxed.
They offer it now in smoothies. I was at a smoothie shop the other day, and he asked me, do you want some of that? And I was like, no, because I didn't know. And the lady, and he was giving away his free samples, and everybody else like, yeah. So I guess it's good for you. I don't know. I guess it's good for you.
Well, that'll be our next show. Sabrina drunk a CBD smoothie, and then she'll tell us whether it was good or bad. You guys, thank you for hanging out with us on today. We got issues with the force of friendship. It has been a joy. We will see you on tomorrow, same time, same place. You guys have a wonderful rest of your day. God bless. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, Michael.